our Turkish Super League anymore, and agreement at Yatuma, Akaso already to the Mosala, and be in medicals, and the trousers Pobokono, and then Pat already to the Mosala, as so as I say, the medicals no, and my trousers Pobokono, and to Patonia picture no, and I get two to the line from Ezra, 94.2 the firm starting the pace for Antos to float already to the Mosala, but Patonamia Tuma, or Coco Sakai, and the trousers Pobokono, one a brand different to Nana, and I'm a punchman, never be pierced with my quay, and the trousers Pobokono way, I am Pat already to the Mosala, the medicals no way, but Pato pass Yamia Tuma, but Pato official me announcements already to the Mosala, as we put on the Sakai, and the trousers Pobokono, our Turkish Super League, no, Patonio Nonqua, a brand anything, and into some forfeit was Sakai, and about two for Bobokono, on some Ababe free agent what I said, and I reported in Yabaseka, Potter says trousers Pobokono, one more asked to the brand anything, and into some forfeit until Comasana Pia, on us to Nofe, or the pen, Essicat has not as signed contract, and about trousers Pobokono, not for Sakai, as what about trousers already to the Mosala, and Jatako, not for brand different to some forfeit, as which attack one us to Bantuma, and about trousers Pobokono, and Tim, and reported us for free Turkey, and Padam Patro table already thing, and the Mosala control taking Mammy pictures no, not for the Patrian Touchman, so I brought here for the Mosala, live for Pobokono, one by 3 year partners of Katoko Juma, 1 pound, and so to money for Pobokono, not for best starting that season, no already to the Mosala, the Patronian part of feeling for Putino, which the pastor pull buying. And Obetuma Society already thing, and the Mosala, and will live for Pobokono, Obetuma Facebook also, as well as to one promoter for the washer, now to Bassett Rapa, the Bacan Commerce at the Sotama Wine, and a capable of Obetuma repressing, or adding to the Mosala, and will live for Posata Promo. Now, what did the pastor live for Pobokono statistics without a branch for the Mosala, and will prevent criminal, live for Pobokono statistics, Nasa will predict live for Pobokono, but Patramang the top 4. Or be a part of the top 4 now. Live for Pobokono to a run. And what top 4 more. And now some patro Premier League commit to match with already to Anthony Royla. Or now I am the new manager. And so to live for Pobokono. And to confirm Bukono, nothing what change the bra. But Patro Makinkai, we must set in a sort about nothing. And you must sweat to make with me catch us. Live for Pobokono Boguswa. A branch of Fano. Brawley Jean Manuel Estolesto Bato Pacola. To know for Brawley Pacola Sakai. And my PH. Kuronom, let me play a live for Pompey for identify the star where capable to replace already thing and the most law. Now for the person that McQuay and the live for Pobokono and for a trench up on the Facebook also. I also read to rope about follow. No one shall not say what to message up. The making message in a sort of come not for the person at McQuay. Let me put your FIFA. Now me have to already to the Johnny Infantino and also I am president at the FIFA. Now proponent at Teresa were calling for emergency meeting. And all ever cost Morocco. No more contention FIFA. I will not for the part of the city and then someone went to after the World Cup and not for within the World Cup and not start here ever. Now me part of the Teresa sky already to the sky cover. So I'm a detailed report of a new one discuss with me today. Say, no, me patro side the mana. One man discuss with me today. Now, me patro be enough to save already to the Johnny Infantino. I will FIFA couldn't swear already discuss the Infantino be the Infantino be able to but be patro FIFA seminal. Aqua control. Me patro side emergency meeting and of a crisis meeting about Kosovo Morocco. And then there's enough to save already to the Johnny Infantino criminality. President and the FIFA already to the sky cover. One on I am a patron international reporter in terms of your sports and I have a football and also Edia Tuja.
I think he's got some support from different places around the world. He's got some support in South America because South America are desperate to have a 64-team World Cup. I think he's got some support from different places around the world. He's got some support in South America because South America are desperate to have a 64-team World Cup in 2030 because that would mean more games in South America. He's got some support in Africa because Africa really appreciate a lot of the things that he's done for African football, increasing funding for African football associations, more African teams in the World Cup. I think double the number of teams under Gianni Infantino. He's also got some support around Asia as well. For instance, in the Gulf, countries like Qatar and Saudi Arabia are obviously very, very pleased with what he's been able to deliver for them. But I don't think it will be enough to save him. I think under normal circumstances, if he was being reasonable, he would read the room and resign, and he would have already have resigned, because this scandal has been going on for more than a week now. You know, normally, if you work in communications or PR, you say to people, look, just ride this out a couple of days, and then the headlines will move and people will start talking about something else. But people are still talking about Gianni Infantino, and people are still demanding his resignation.
Do you think that we've heard about, you know, people boycotting a world?
I am already to the Gianni Infantino, or added to the Sky Cafe international reporter on football from Sky, and I'm patrolling somewhere to concerning the concerning the FIFA president or no, and some to work up more or mutu the possible way what me Alvarez sika and work up with my busita and ticket to way and can you second some way number now so no one can do through pentino and I go fast some way as when they bro already thing and so they criminal Gianni Infantino or no I president so the FIFA the feel so young as so they bar now me patron so team could so they some bar me come Manchester United bobo could so here me go create make a car our Manchester United bobo could mo mame abronte for the Joshua Zasi or Robosa or a player second and to Manchester United bobo kono now Joshua Zasi can watch them no me patron the team me baby yes season no now Robo bobo kono manya play pass kon bia so we want abronte for the Joshua Zasi and the Panofe abronte the sweat to second and him about Roma bobo kono now me patron truth bobo kono no so over penny abronte the thing at the tour now according to report intelligence maker and anyway airport what about patrol room and what brought for the Joshua Zasi or Robosa the situation no more our Manchester United bobo kunuma the patrol the team away serious pa so compare some what I brought for the Joshua Zasi ebako aya me patrol true for bobo kono me patrol already tell Ricky Masala nom woman ya prepare brought here for the Joshua Zasi woman to brought the bako true no mon patrol beat over the Manchester United bobo kono a non deal plus option to buy and on maybe patrol already tell Joshua Zasi beat the truth for the Manchester United bobo kono sa and kabaya Manchester United put for woman you to know for Brontia you for the Joshua Zasi Robosa woman second and from Manchester United bobo kono tenta Juve and put for the side bit no and the Manchester United bobo kono and team the report the swap now me patrol the tell say me free Manchester United young Manchester City bobo kono so here young ko to make a car and so Manchester City bobo kono mo what Man City bobo kono so here mame abronte for the Tijani Joshua me patrol the tell say na say Tijani Ranta so sia kan and so ante Man City bobo kono sa abronte we ball no do no bopa na so Man City bobo kono no come here some no patrol ready to your Pep controller Salah to do for the Pep controller manager ante Manchester City bobo kono that time no abronte the status on the people na so ba be season no abra et abronte for the Tijani Rantas na nyuma makoyeten and so to my abronte no our Manchester City bobo kono so here na me patrol report na we be say ka Pato say Uram and so our Manchester City bobo kono so here mama already tin on fan class now or no aya manager adman not for the bobo kono we Pato say Bronte way what the papa not for already thing and it Tijani Rantas as well pa not for baby second man not for the bobo kono now report na we be say ka Pato say and not for the bobo kono woman Man City put for be sin kono consider Bronte for the Tijani Rantas not for Bronte no pa na we be second as well to not for the bobo kono na as to start Bronte the better no and on me Pato ya there and to be concerned me Pato Bronte you for the Tijani Rantas for better to say or koko sia kan and some that am not for the bobo kono and the should be a starting for the no bafa now for be piaso at my concantary report and so pa me Pato me composa on for you about to bobo kono so here utu pass bobo kono on for you about to bobo kono so here also me Pato so two teams no o matisika pa out to play as what as here Washa Pastor Bobokuna, me patra brante for Anthony Gordon, Pastor Bobokuna Fesica, 100 million euros, and a Jacofa brante for Anthony Gordon. Now me patra Korgama to Bobokuna Sosuya, Wamos spend 100.5 million euros. Wamoja to brante for the Dorsal Maurice Donface, Wamato ready to the Mark Kukuraya Saseta, and I'm from Pacho, Wamato brante for the Carlos SP. They tell us, sir, 3 players no more costed Gama to Bobokono, 105 million euros. And yes, Real Man to Bobokono, and the Kofa 3 players were sir, one Messaka, and Faber Gama to Bobokono. On the part of your pastor, no, me Pacho Pastor Bobokona Yusu. 100 million euros and the far brante for to the golden qua. Na me patron to so say Real Man to Bobokono, Oma saying that man for free players are omo higher quality. And just almost so Messiakai and the Margama to Bobokono, a brante for the Prima Conote, already to the Paranato Sova, but Africa the Cafaho, do not for the Paranato Sova. The patron players were Bobo Penano, Real Man to Bobokono spending 40 million euros a pair. The patron signing on bonus and enticement fee and turn and transfer fee ho what has next me patro between Pastor Bobokono and Anna Ferriba to Bobokono ya pede me patro de telesa na dwen ya juma power transfer mo ya Real Man to Bobokono a lot of players now so me patro at low cost Pastor Bobokono so say almost resisika and the free time and the transfer market so to beef up the squad send the player and you better makoye and some that Pastor Bobokono almost to brante for Anthony Gordon 100 million euros and report if you pass the Bobokono must here and I fair you to Bobokono or must here that's the bar now me patch of the swap pass the Bobokono mame abrante for the Yao Cancelo Petro Cavaco do not for the Yao Cancelo as you play a second Ante Emma Al Hilal Bobokono also the Paul until and so the Al Hilal Bobokono Massa now and also the Paul until the Pastor Bobokono no money Bobo Swadipa already to the house Tita Flick on your manager and the Pastor Bobokono Naniba Swap branded thing and so the Yao Cancelo Papa if it's a brand to the pen and Juma Bay and the Pastor Bobokono was so far Nana part of the Teresa already to the house to flick their two pass and pay for the Musa a brand for the Yao Cancelo on Pastor Bokobe Pia Pastor brand stay our Pastor Bobokono already to the Yao Cancelo so and ya to Al Hilal and Perry for the Musa one on Pastor Bokobe Pia Obeste our Pastor Bobokono to Bia and can pay for the coin not from Cotoso no one's yakai and so Enfaba Waterman Pacho I Hilal Bobokono and not Pacho I Hilal and Perry for Pacho Sabede Pastor Bobokono Sika one person for the signature of our brante for the Yao Cancelo no Sikaru from Etibaya and Cabrante for the Yao Cancelo must start pre-season training with I Hilal Bobokono. A brante for the Yao Cancelo Sagbede. Now they are saying Pachoba Panafe was starting pre-season with Al Hilal Bobokono and Tabo Abufaba. Now some Katokra. Nana Pacho reported of your mistake. And Pacho Soko Pastor Bobokono Masuya. But so I'm pretty first Muguswa and Al Hilal and pretty 14 Kaba. Nami and Tuma. I will pass a transfer winter no Kurino. No matter my green fee. What I Hilal Bobokono, I'm a brante for the Yao Cancelo, Petro Cavaco, the Pacha Brante the Swap Panafe, Wabba Sakai, and about Pastor Bobokono, and to pass on Petty Fuguso, what we get deal for brante for the Yao Cancelo, and on air reported the Swapa, the Pacha the Sweating Kudaso, yeah, to my way, but I'm let it come to Bobokonaso here, we can let it come to Bobokonaso here, Makato Son, a Brantia, Niti, Eso, and Julian Alvarez, or Sakai, and about Letico, Mantu Bobokono, Patron Pastor Bobokono Sasa Besitio no, baby I let you come out and pay the fortuna, and even Pia Pastor Bobokono for the signature of a brante for the Julian Alvarez no, I get in Papa, and then some Katokra. Now report a better thing, and then your patcher say, I let you come out to Bobokono, and come on, what possible delay process now, make a brante for the Julian Alvarez, one Kosakai and from a Pastor Bobokono, Nessa Branton or fair let you come out to Bobokono Kraka, and Capares sent to Bobokono. And also ask the Bobokono come out to a Brantano. I'm an say, baby a general, so foreign club will be back. Now on your Spanish air club, I'm a part of the top 4. I bet you stop a Brantia, Niti and Julian Alvarez, the patron Boston and 24. I let you come out to 25 ready to play no, or more for the Mamo, or to a Brantano. I'm an uncle outside Spain, not for Brantano Cocosakai, and so Tobacco for Nasa, one to a Brante for the Yao Cancelo, sir, Yao Cancelo. emesia kan enfama pasa bobo kure de ana ka so ribagu we ya tuna me patro de tire se Atletico Madrid pere for fa concerning appointed the thing and Julian Alvarez osia kan ensom gatoba Atletico Madrid bobo kure to the latest update concerning appointed ya for Julian Alvarez osia kan Atletico Madrid bobo kure tell report and also pa na patro report and you be say kan appointed already ten one reporter ono na president also the pass bobo kure so say the patro or die deal no and I'm already to the criminal tipping Savi, and I'm already to the whole hey on Castino Parliamentes to the for the whole hey mentors. Or more your super agent, sir, a bear, and Kaumum Bumpy, I let you come to Bobokono, Nanka, me Pacho Wataruma, agreement intimidate between Atletico to Bobokono, and I'm for Pastor Bobokona Cabrantia, Lieutenant Julian Alvarez, Wamra, no Mesaka, and from Pastor Bobokono. The reason to Pastor Bobokono, Woman, no matter so much to in the meantime, and it's a more chance to many green light. And the free aya Atletico to Bobokono, not for Bronte for the Julian Alvarez, as well to me about the Sakai, and I'm Pastor Bobokunitano, I reported the sopa, and the society, Pastor Bobokunasto, already telling one report upon the yet to maintain, said a Ben Pacho, Quam bit to my door, not for Atletico to put a franchise to say, already telling Julian Alvarez, woman job Bronte Monaco, not for Bronte, as well to the Sakai, and I'm Pastor Bobokunitano, I reported the sopa, young one to man, that's what we had to mention. So live for the court in Super Mecata 94.2 FM set the pace for others to follow me patron shooting Kudaso Yana Senepa I'm a Piasso to make way to Materaso me patron Brate for the Takehiro Tomiyacho a former player to my Arsenal Bobokono me patron with a free agent say or Aditine Takehiro Tomiyacho me patron Ram or Koko Sakai and so to my Crystal Polo Bobokono were passing the medicals and not for what sign the contract no after some beyond the queen to my frontier for the Takehiro Tomiyacho, the Japanese international, and also Rome, our Crystal Polo Bobokuno, not from Patra Brantano, as well to Makosakai, and the Crystal Polo Bobokuno, None Patra couldn't to another letters report to Meseka, and again, no Patra Soko Crystal Polo Bobokuno, Wamasha, Mame Abrante for the sound Destancy, I'm a Patra Sakai, and about Charles Bobokuno, Sa Brantaway, me Patronaka, the wish, Nessa, Obesakai, the Maclub, Obesakai, and when you were for Champions League. Now, so I brought for the Santa Stasi. The attendance, Nipa, the ultimate proposal. Now, so approve on every free Nakopoha. What I say now, some Ketokra, Crystal Polo Bobokono, one more estimated a bid to Chelsea Bobokono, one more to bid, and the more Chelsea Bobokono, one more Pabrantia. Your friend Azal, disaster was an Ata, Makinis Bello, I'm a Patrosia Kain, and the more Chelsea Bobokono. Now, the attendance, a loan deal plus obligation to buy, loan deal plus obligation to buy. Among they paid the Crystal Polo Bobokono, we must submit to the Chelsea Bobokono, and to the Chelsea and put for and the Crystal Polo Bobokono, or mobile funny agreement, me patch agreement here, Juma, or anything, and soon as out the Sassi, Ababa, no Baba Sakai, and the Crystal Polo Bobokono and Chai, and a Chelsea Bobokono Kofa Prontia, your friend my sense Lacroix, Sa Prontia the Manofe, or Messakai, then from Chelsea Bobokono, me patch Crystal Polo Bobokono swap us, or more Chelsea player. When I submit to my replacer, Prontia, your father, my son's Guy Lacroix, I'm a patron, Baba Messiakai, and so Tomato, Bobo Kurintano, and reported the swamper. Young one to them, that's what Tomato saw for me, patron, the attendant seconds, yes, with Tomaco, our Hong Kong. Charles Bobokuno, woman drew for Bobokuno, so to Penny, I'm a patron, came up with a rear. June for Bobokuna Sabako, Chelsea Bobokuna to Manoche, I'm a Gabno, and also at Tobacco, come on, what I say, and to Chelsea Bobokuno, Womanu Sukabno, and Yaman Quay, I'm from Chelsea Bobokuno, the patron of 10 year, goalkeeper for Roberto Sanchez Lynch, on Taponimo, as well as Chelsea Bobokuno, already to the Marco Palastra, as well to Mr. T. Gabno, Tosin Abdul Nassau, Abdara Bio, as to T. Gabno, I fell already to the Wesley for Fana Tijani, I fell Bronte the thing, and then Jora. How to start? If I brought for Nicole and Jasuli, as well starting Gemino, and for Moises Isaac Corostro Casito, do not follow Moises Casito, already think any Giovanni Quenda channel, as well starting, and for Yao Pedro, Juncara Jesus, do not for Yao Pedro, already telling Jimmy Gaitans, and for Bronte Fino, and Danny Warbeck, as well starting Gemino, and the Machos Bobokuno, June for Bobokuno to Chelsea, and Tomokamako, Chelsea Bobokuno, as some na ntoma na Washington no report no so pa ye wantuma na we eso toma bosafuna no ana mpacho after the game yakubu so already thing ana Champi Alonso Lano ono ye manager eso the Chelsea Boboko no ana yakubu so de say akonto na Chelsea Boboko na to be no affected the team na lose as a players na pre and say akonto there a part of your football and team there was some players need to say akonto ye part of your football to ma adapt what I say ultra play mo na be see here you say pia to pronounce ball and mpacho be see Hong Kong what I say na mo obetuma kasa the kind of error has as a Chelsea Boboko no mo ye me pacho training na Chelsea Boboko no ye no ama boys no abrapa na so ketokra and team pacho sa e game we to there on kasa me pacho sa game no what the BB na mo pacho no person nya a fair idea of a certain players na nyakopo to wenya pa na players obo bobo no we want to betuma contribute to Chelsea Boboko no and we pacho already to the champion also anon e manager and so the Chelsea Boboko no so what they to no se akona ye fere Giovanni Quenda am pacho fish sporting CP buy I be say akana Chelsea Boboko no o sa Chelsea Boboko no ko Australia no went to me anchor with a Chelsea Boboko no say we drew Hong Kong etma to the team no said na akona opportunity what the man no some the pacho game or starting game no and fantastic drew for Boboko no we won be play wa akona na akona ni ball papa o ti the person we did the season no o be won yama e wa branch for the Giovanni Quenda am pacho say akana Chelsea Boboko no na fe ni ma som etma kwe at ama Chelsea Boboko no and to we some pacho already thing and is happy Alonso Lano onon kay manager and so the Chelsea Boboko no we maintain and so the matuja live on extra 94.1 FM setting the pace for others to follow me part of the shooting so and then some bam na be so to makwe and we to matter so mama compass Boboko so ya na fe me kwe to makaka and so pass Boboko mo me pacho ko Facebook so o ko Facebook so and so red to no promote follow na wa sha na to message na pa you be ken ka message na ma and so red to Facebook so na wo follow na wa sha na for to message na pa and na we be ken ka message no and so to come and patch the atidia mo ko pass Boboko so ya also no pa protect for the Alessandro Pastoni. Well, player was second about Inter Boboko defender no me patron pass Boboko de pair nya some ketokra out to date pass Boboko no woman da so pair na so sika 70 me patron reserve scanning na for Abrante for the Julian Alvarez na me patron de tell say pass Boboko no come so pa Abrante ni tell Christian Gabriel Romero El Couti to do for the Christian Romero ono so sika ma Thomas Boboko no na so come here say pass Boboko de sika no sound defenders when na one more intimate top the Patterson two players way report and you say ka Patterson e be against start season no na Bronte for the Christian Romero the Patterson player Edma Inter Boboko no be pair with a Bronte fano Alessandro Pastoni e a charm Edma Inter Boboko no na Patterson report and you say ka Patterson say real man to Boboko no one more to be to Bronte ni te Raul Asensio real man to Boboko no ko fa Bronte you find Alessandro Pastoni na for no straight to be church no one pojuma Estro Tamar Gelman to Boboko no real man to Boboko no transfers no and then close na me atuma yes Protestant Gelman to Boboko no e betima we deal for Brontia you find young Diomande and for already thing and then road to be pa real man to future one basha na for betima say be pia kama na be pia that's what to makwe and the Gelman to Boboko no and today report na so e fe real man to Boboko no so here and for pass Boboko no we must here that's what they pa na me patcho be come Manchester City Boboko na so here me kwakwe to makaka na wuto Man City Boboko na so here makacho say Abrante for the Petronito number and the Patrosia kind and the Chelsea Boboko no already did the criminality and so Baraska on they about the Tadaba Man City Boboko no me patro get to the say Abrante for the Petronito no on your players as one to the Kuma so pass at least when Timan for play beer and free Chelsea Boboko na so here ma I was so Abrante you for the Petronito ever now for Mr. Kadaba Man City Boboko no na patro report and you be say ka Patasa or anything and so Baraska me patro wa catch Man City in the first so bit my successful power me patro players will wa one more fundamental to the status no I just one more power one bit my body year power I want Manchester City Boboko na so here na start to the players you know Musa kai and so the Manchester Boboko no Abrante for the Petronito number Silva, I've already think Enzo Fernandez, Jeremias El Gordo, and I've the thing, Enzo already think, Enzo and what Chelsea Bobo could have said, yeah, me part of the Tennessee one player, one on the two, and 17 Diniba after some players are just already think Enzo Baroska Pese, one Tomo Panafe, one must not to be second, and the amateur Bobo Kuno, Name Patros, 3 players way, one bit more cost Manchester City Bobo Kuno, about 300 million pounds. And suddenly Patros 3 players no, or be second, at Manchester City Bobo Kuno, Man City in perform, and they are already didn't answer Baroska, and say, oh, now but I want to break what I say. If it's a Patropa, Man City Bobo Kuno, so much for this career, now so air coffee out more than 300 million pounds. And the Manchester Bobo Kuno, the Patro Bassa, the most 20 Chelsea Bobo Kuno against a Man City Bobo Kuno in terms of physical Sam and Tim Patro already think that the Enzo Baroska Man City Bobo Kuno to 2 players this season, not for Baba, no more second, and the Man City Bobo Kuno, Miatuma, next season, nothing, or must set to Chelsea Bobo Kuno, Ashia, nothing, or must Kofa, another player at the floor, not for the 3 players now panel, then some, that's what to make an affair, or must set to be second, and the amateur Bobo Kuno, and report a few Man City Bobo Kuno, and from Australia, that's what they bought. You want to make sure tomorrow we have to make it live on Extra 94.1 FM. Now, me Pacho Mama Brantia, your friend Bruno Guimares, and me Pacho Sekai, anyone Newcastle, United Bobo Kuno, me Pacho Newcastle United Bobo Kuno, agreement again between us and Bobo Kuno. And for Newcastle for the signature of a Bronte for Bruno Guimares. Now me Pacho Bronte way, all costed us the Bobo Kuno a first fee of 75 million pounds and send a bonuses about the Piswa about reaching more than 80 million pounds. I'm a Bronte for Bruno Guimares Rodriguez Mura. I'm a Messiakai Ataba as Nobobo Kuno. Me Patro said the city, me Patro the Tennessee. Newcastle get to Bobo Kuno Junior passer. I brought him for Bruno Guimares. Now me Antuma, me Patro next season, Obenya 29 years. Now someone said to make a 75 million pounds. Woman to the passer and pa, you're to the same, a Newcastle get to Bobo Kuno. Or my good business. After Senema Bekoye, and the Newcastle get to Bobo Kuno. And the Newcastle get to Bobo Kuno Junior passer 2 or more town. I brought him for Bruno Guimares no, or Master Wuskap or Master Wufaswa, Bibaba Quay, and so to Newcastle get to Bobo Kuno, and to my already thing, and so the kite Dowie, or no, a reporter for Sky, or reporter concerning Newcastle get to Bobo Kuno, players I want to, or my job, or Mamakuna Fame Faswa, or Mutina Passa Paswa Bra, or my tie, I brought him for Bruno Guimares sound call, now Uncle Saka and Faba Arsenal Bobo Kuno.
Castle and well, we got here, it started 6 weeks ago, really, Dharmesh, when intermediaries, essentially middlemen, contacted Newcastle and asked if Bruno Guimares could be available and could he go to Arsenal. It was way back then, about 6 weeks ago, that Bruno Guimares intimated to Newcastle that he would be willing to speak to Arsenal and would be up for moving to the Premier League champions if Newcastle received what they deemed to be an acceptable bid for the player. I think what perplexed Newcastle over the course of the last 5-6 weeks is probably the way Arsenal have gone about things. There was no direct contact, no formal offer, everything was played out through intermediaries, and that really confused Newcastle to an extent. Now, what Newcastle have said is that they never wanted to sell Bruno Guimares. We have been reporting that for weeks now, and they would never have sold him at any price unless Bruno Guimares said he wanted to leave, and he made that abundantly clear to Newcastle. So once they knew that, for then Newcastle, what they needed to do was to try and extract what they felt was the maximum value out of the transfer. And I said on our transfer show a few weeks ago when I was down in the studio that I thought it would start with an 8. It's slightly less than that at £75 million, but Newcastle do believe it's a good fee for a player who will be 29 in a couple of months' time. and it takes them back to the drawing board to try and find a replacement. So look, it's not what the club wanted in any way. They do feel the player has been very respectful in the way he's gone about his business. He wanted to make sure that Newcastle got a big fee for him. The initial figures that were being quoted through intermediaries, I understand, were around about £40 to £45 million, and there was no way that Newcastle were going to deal with that. They told the player they wanted him to report to the training base in Spain earlier this week. Bruno Guimaraes did that. The club say that he has behaved impeccably with regards to that, and they have given him his wish once Arsenal have got to that 75 million. It's not quite the 80 or 85 that I think they probably would have liked at the outset, but it's not far off of that, and it's one of the highest ever fees for a player who is 28 years old or over. So not great for Newcastle, losing their club captain, the darling of the fan base, an absolute legend in these parts. He wears his heart on the sleeve. He'll be a real big miss to this football club, but it does leave Newcastle with money to spend.
Yes, and today I already didn't do we saw the report concerning a planter for the Bruno Guimaraes, Rodri was your kind, and so Edmund Newcastle United. You are still live on Ezra 94.1 FM and Ezra TV. Patro Mame, a planter for the young Diomande, Osia Kadaba, Razen Boston Leipzig. Bobo couldn't patch according to report to Messeka, and I a patch a bit of a passer. Namia Tuma. Or China Crown or Yelma to Momokono, Abaya announcement, Branche for the young Diomande, a player, and tomorrow Yelma to Momokoraba, or Mutina Passoman making a significant progress in their negotiations with RB Leipzig for the signature of the Ivorian International. Patro, keep your fingers across. Real Madrid Momokono is working assiduously on the deal for a Branche thing, and a young Diomande Tenon, a reporter also Panavia. Now, Patro Mamma to the Bossa, a Branche Feno, Rodrigo, Henan Cascante. Basta Momokono, just like a Basta. The Patro, almost so quick Corissa. Komosuba tried to outbid Real Madrid Momokono for the signature of a Branche thing, and so the Rodri. Now, so reporter be picking from the current of Ayan Basta Momokono Pacha said, or Rodri. Basta Momokono will not go in for his signature. Now, reporter you may say Pacha said, Real Madrid Momokono, it is suspected that Branche, your friend Rodri, and of a Branche for the young Diomande, the South two players way. Woman, the Betomaya announcement this week said, Woman, players at the Real Madrid Momokono Tano, and reporter the sopa. Now, go ask the dressing room, ask the Momokono, the patron certain players. I just to say, a Branche for the Vinicius Jnr. Ebba, no one be kind to ask the Momokono, and to ask now, the patron players no, or more prepare for the arrival of a Branche. The thing, any you say, Pasayo. Oliveira Vinicius Jnr. Nana Patch according to another latest report intelligence. Make a patch say the patrol run I asked the Bobo Kuda ya already did an answer better. On your spotting Toronto asked the Bobo Kuno. Wakacha confirm with Brazil Vinicius Jnr. Ba it will be unprepared. Hey, already did an answer better. No, was it Vinicius Jnr. Eba or maybe still kind of ask the Bobo Kuno and to be unprepared. Now, me catch us there will be a meeting between a Branche fan of Vinicius Jnr. and a for Real Madrid Momokono. The patron called production. Now, the patron the Chelsea Sabe because a meeting between Real Madrid Momokono for Branche for Jose Pasayo, Oliveira Vinicius Jnr. to do for the Vinicius Jnr. Now, according to report of me picking up your patch, say, where's now a free meeting last panel? I'll purchase the Vinicius Jnr. best Arsenal for me a surprise. Where's a meeting from the meeting? No patch, I said. Already thing, and then Vinicius Jnr. best now Vinicius Jnr. Me patch out my catch now. Also, Ezra, me catch us a better transfer. What an Ezra 94.1 FM. Me catch I was say. I brought a phenom. Vinicius Jnr. killing the Papa catch you out. You're about to put it for Edmund. Wasn't the same market 20p? And also, you're about to put it for the Mano. You're about to put it for making it emphatically clear. And the Branche for the Vinicius Jnr. said, Omun to be far Branche for the killing the Papa catch you out. Nippy and from Mano. Me patron the 10 year. Real Madrid pay for say 22 million euros at a task no and you take it or leave it. offer and omotaba prantia ya for the Vinicius Jnr. Etim pacho be commentary sisi na men pick a report from media no coso between Real Madrid Bobokono and offer prantia for the Jose Pasayo only for Vinicius Jnr. Na yentie wesa e free meeting mo so deba.
Start though with the Premier League champions Arsenal. Let's go straight to Gary Cottrell, who is at the Aviva Stadium. Gary, welcome back. You're inside now, which is good. But first of all, you have some big breaking news.
Yes, Arsenal fans about, I would have thought, ready to celebrate some impending great news regarding the arrival of Bruno Guimaraes, but I'm afraid Arsenal fans, don't hold your breath for much longer regarding the future of Vinicius Jnr, because as we told you on Sky Sports News a little over a week ago, my understanding after a series of meetings today involving Vinicius Jnr, his agents, the CEO of Real Madrid at the Real Madrid training ground, the latest from Real Madrid is that Vinicius Jnr stays at Real Madrid. I don't know any details of what agreement has been reached, regarding signing on fee, his image rights, his salary. But my understanding is the latest news from the Real Madrid training ground is that the Vinicius Jnr will stay at
Eti Arsenal Bobokono Benin for Baka Sakpala Europa for Subaka Sakpala what I say na sa mon kafra pa what I say Vinicius Jnr eyiba konko etianon report for Real Madrid wo mo training class so dey ba na beja for baba trust na fi team ko bakaka ge benya series of report from the training grounds of Real Madrid Bobokono in the meeting between the Brazilian international already to the Vinicius Jnr and after Real Madrid Bobokono way aya pronte for the Trevor Chonoba wakoko draw koko in Americas and so tabako boka Bobokono mame doneka pa Mr. Niani Kobo, Donek, says the minister of the moment, and your member dear, what I sent to your Bema, what did it Donek into a simple piano, was a sweet to make a Donek Nafe, would you see Mantia, na a 2 draw from Peter Bem and 1 Bobby, now dream Ponoswa for the pumping, what I say next of Kitokla, over Pompalupa, over Boston Kum Debbie Bebakoye, and so Taman Patron Donek and Parmesan and Yetinia, when your Bema so member someone Paso, and Koya. Eye Doneka Parmester, no Musadro Webby. Now, Beba will be a thing, will sister will be a thing, a bay sissy ya dear through her, a bay ye the patch premature calculation through her. After what was struggle say, will Beba the stomach a bit to my pedanimo, not to my yet to my net to my jasino. Doneka Parmester, I drop me come for the master, Bobotes was some to my cabin be. Nabu Poppy, Nabi Piamakoye, and some not about the patch of say, so what? What room pass 1 minute to come one get 10 table no, and now so wouldn't to neck a permission. Me patrol or so don't make a home. Now what they come on us a woman and number 25 minutes. And to one now pass our 2 time. We're not 25 minutes, we're not 20 minutes for a doctor to say, not doctor and so don't make up to neck no, not choke 1 parcel, and now worry about a dorsal for a doctor to say 0246 727677. 0246 727677 Yahuma over to my friend Doneka Parmester. Now Doneka Parmester no me patron ba me fatu de so say there Donek mala Mr. Peterso and your typhoid and of jaundice any fever what any Donek malamis no bi na bu pobi na draway e betu asia afa wo so kokko de yam tim how Baba who koko how no wutrum paswa se wu jamwani wo ko paswa se wu jamwani me pacho bomote so to maka Donek ko heba bitters no bi na me pacho betu koko asisi ya de be yefro na fei yamutim eswo fro basa we furo so bejo na fei we furo ya flat kaba bibia be ko yeso ba ho ana fei Donek good life herbal tonic edroway na sam ketokra wonya bi no nompa me na make catch so wa anemia how o monta so te wa wo ye pale wo look white ana afei wo so wo na mo no we so brew wo de Donek good life herbal tonic wo nom bi pe sa de we nyina no de be jai wo taton se so de be ba baby ye to odro baby ye to nro e wo mama nyina no kwa wo de so pen Donek products no won sabaka do to na no to be na bon patcho pesa wo ni Donek for ye adwuma na wo to nro de bi ton a ahoma no ye 0246 727677 0246 727677 Yahuma Obatuma friend to make a power master ono penino eswe to metin komo afi bi patro de tie mama friend to the say open lighter light headquarters and one SV light only light headquarters me patro open stage light Serbia we stage now we build no we hear different kinds of light and they beautify we stage now me patro be bia ukwa we benya stage one me bia in terms of your light aye SV light and in patro professionals money SV light any dwa na papa wey me patro ambassador o magana fasumu adwomo obo koma adwomo etu per light papa pa and one SV light kwana kwajo de na fa danse so eba wo per chandelier sana wo per corner light wo per wall light wo per center light and also wo per bed side lamps light bia wo per bia wo per bulbs awodo quality one there wo dey say wo the ball wo tabu a ebetima take more than 1 year na ense na nya hwe me patro SV light and I will submit to Makabi SV light on adeba ko wo a chese me hu a na chese ba ko ba to be minister na san amanfo fi a hye nyina no eye kebusa enye papa SV light ebema quality cables out as so kaba what the way of you na me say dum so entime fa light ni mo anasa wo ye ni mo ama efie na hye me patron light won prepare bia wo pe light headquarters e wo Kumasi agana adia eno ane SV light wo ma check ko wadum PZ me patron ni CBG bank ni ti hwe ni mo ba bia ebu akwa gogo trotro station no entina wo mu loto no me patron brosa no mu tira eni mu loto no eho a eso pe ana bon SV light woni kejetia main gate no ene eti hwe ni mo enti woni opanyi no ebedin komo so 557805289 0557805289 Yahoma Obatuma fe SV light na fe ono penny straight to metin komo afei mi patron golden power travel and toss e bana kwanto wetuma dia eye golden power fakwata womon mi patron o vista amau na for start work permit aka ho na adwuma bi apie wa brochre Denmark Germany and Holland from Juba and factory Juba work permit saka ho da bi obetna and of fedwade obede car and obakọ Juba nyina ya available me patro brodi de ofawa no wafa na sika ta ho no enya sika keto kra etife golden power travel and toss here na fe chinchemu na me se wutu kwan a what attention that's what the baba 0549 1989-95 0549 1989-95 Yahoma Obetuma fe golden power travel and talk na fe me patro what else so pakaba na bi pia be so ba gentleman tantan clinic so tachi e bano enumka wonum yinka ana say me patro de tell say wador masene sitie wasena to wo person represi say ye temper na say permanent one ana waseno wo person say gold ana say so vagete no aya pure gold and pure silver subawa papa me patro gentleman tantan can some fan to them and then we are say me patro peste no moja for mu ba na wo say ti na na yemre wo say de keka wo de ne gentleman tantan can kwata say ana fen kawan abaso se wo se ase a gentleman tantan clinic obaso ye ana obeko we ni nyuma hoto bebre ana gentleman obo ye scaling and polishing na fe teeth whitening o person wo se pie fita enko bia fi so mo na ye professionals obo ye adwuma kama ama bibia yatoma ko eso ntama me patro bo chakwan awo bantama na sa Prepo Junction and then UMP bank no mo no ye wono so pe ye pen total filling station no ye na motor the school na tin hwere mo ana fe patro bo robo atonso gogo high school and that's our Tonsu High School Junction traffic light wa S-line junction so boba won tanchima tantao clinic kwatas here takwa dem panchase tanisco down tamale ya wateshigu ana fe urobo aplawoso wa Eco Bank tanimo sudane ya per Stanford Bridge fe tachiman ya wakante kwa de sokofodja ya per Central Police Station on penny tin komo 05 5913 9582 05 5913 9582 Yahoma over to my friend John Tibet Dental Clinic for the 24 Esom Netibet in Como San Franco Media Institute Wamo and I'm Pacho Wataruma Mama Fonto the Musa Best School Sempa so possible in Central Papa and Central Jumano Senabo Romano just a o quantity o school waters here na baby assessment Ghana for Obia did any San Franco Media Institute be Pacho Bashoya and Obacom about the sports presentation and commentary about the news gathering and casting of a DJing, program hosting, marketing, event and promotion be part of way. And Central Jumano Jopes will be a BR and I'm part of TV National. The two qua, you know, but fun to Tiamo. Now for me, you know where you do. San Franco against Central Jumano, quarter years. It's about an experience and of a pedigree one Central Jumano Mutia. And yes, San Franco Media Institute on Abaco. No one study or say school fees 1 year or so. And I say, was somehow I couldn't be to my church and a crack weekend classes were and I for me to my co school way. Now for what said to my Wachuma 84 p.m. your lecture time. And I say, my main phone to the Musa was done about more outside Kubasano or hostel facilities were at the Mamo. And no, I guess San Franco Media Institute of Australia and I will call nothing. What I study we are. Ono and over attachment to Yeswa was someone to a copy of Sober John Nassau 0244 705 112 0244 705 112 Bantama.